make a heart with your hands?
I am not that good at it.
Me either.
Do you know what a heart is, actually?
What do you mean
Like
by that?
the symbol of the heart.
Do I know what that is?
Yeah.
It's
do you
a
know
heart.
do you know where it comes from?
2 raindrops binding together.
Wow. Is that what your mommy told you?
No, I just made that up right
Okay. So, actually, I mean, this is it's an adult show, so that's good enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually, the love symbol
Yeah.
is actually the picture of a woman's bottom. That's
Like a peach.
the shape. Yeah, it's actually like upside down. If you turn it upside down, it's the shape of a woman's bottom. That's love.
That's love. The woman's bottom is love.
Yeah. And yeah.
So today we're going to be talking about how to show your love.
How do you show your love? Yes.
I don't know. Just joking, I do know.
Well, apparently there's a lot of ways you could do it.
Yeah, there's like 87,
Well,
47.
so this article says, which we're sharing.
Yeah.
But we're going to go through that, and we're going to try to determine just really, are they really doing what they say they're going to do?
Yeah. Like,
You
are
know?
they really good ways to show your love?
Yeah.
All right, let's go through it.
Let's go through it. Okay. Number 1,
Yeah, let's go.
surprise them with an unexpected visit or phone call. Do you feel like that would show love?
A very small inkling,
Yeah.
but I think.
I mean, I can imagine somebody
Are
suddenly
you calling
getting...
them to tell them that you love them?
Well, I suppose so.
Okay, well then that's
you're
showing
like-
love.
If they're calling you because it's like, hey, you're going to pay me that $50 back or not?
Yeah.
Then, yeah, I don't feel love there.
Yeah, no. No. Number 2.
Give them a big hug.
Oh, I like that. That's definitely showing love.
Yeah, that got outlawed in 2020.
And like, just like squeeze them so tight and like make sure you give them like a good hug.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. So the third one was to express your empathy.
So like if you're sorry.
Well, often the greatest gift we can what? So it says often the greatest gift we can someone else is the gift of empathy. That's exactly what it says.
All right.
So
But we know what it means.
this short video from it's starting to talk about Brene Brown now. It's a little
Who?
commercial, yeah. Do you know Brene Brown?
I thought you said Mary Brown chicken.
No, Brene Brown.
No, I've never heard of that.
She's very well known in I don't know what space you would call it, self-help space. I don't know what to call it, but Brene Brown was a scientist. Like that's her background is as actually a scientist,
Yeah.
and she actually did a scientific study on empathy
Okay.
and love. She actually wanted to do like a scientific breakdown of what love is, right? And so she did this whole thing, and as she was doing the research, she was really surprised by what she found.
Yeah.
And so she's gone on to do TED Talks, and she's written books. And
Okay.
actually, if you look at my office, you'll see a number of the books on my desk are by Brene Brown.
Yeah.
So I've read a number of her books.
Yeah.
But she's very well known, and she's basically given this whole breakdown of what empathy and love are all about, and why they're so important, and why, what happens in the workplace and what happens in our lives, and why we need to have more of it in our lives, because we end up just lying to ourselves, and it just causes all kinds of problems. So yeah, Brene Brown's really good at talking about empathy and things like that. So highly recommend checking out her stuff.
What's her name? Something Brown?
Brene?
Brene.
Yeah,
Okay, Brene.
Brene.
Brene Brown. That's
Yeah.
a nice name.
Yeah, she's from Texas.
Interesting. Number 4.
Give them a handwritten card or letter. Wow, that's totally 80s.
When was this article written? No, I think anything homemade giving to somebody is going to show your love.
Yeah, I agree. And especially when you think about Christmas cards, for example, I
Yeah.
think that's like Christmas cards and birthday
People don't
cards.
give Christmas cards anymore.
They don't?
Not very often.
Yeah, I got a ton of Christmas cards. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe I just don't get them. No, I'm just thinking back to like when I was younger, my parents would get Christmas cards and Christmas cards and Christmas cards, but now they don't get as many.
Not as many.
Yeah.
I agree. There's
Yeah.
not as many. Yeah, I think
Because then that's having to send mail too, usually.
yeah, and nobody does that anymore.
No, because the
Yeah.
stamp's like $1.50.
Well, it's not only the stamp that's really expensive, but it's
So much easier just to send a text message or send yourself or just video call them.
yeah. I think that the people have just gone a lot more digital nowadays.
Yeah.
So that's again comes back to like the handwritten version just gives a little more. It shows that a little more effort was put into
Yes.
showing you love them.
Yeah.
Right.
So I agree with that one.
I could totally appreciate that. So, babysit for free.
Babysit for free.
Yeah,
That
apparently.
shows your love.
Yeah, especially to new parents, this can mean the world to them. So I can understand that. I can imagine a lot of parents would certainly appreciate somebody like just babysitting for free to be able to give them some time.
Yeah.
So that's another way that you can show love. Write them a letter.
We just said that one, didn't we?
Not quite.
Mail or something.
We said give them a handwritten card or letter.
Okay.
And then they said
What's the difference?
write them a letter.
Write them a love letter.
Make them a meal.
That could be taken. When you first said that, make them a meal, I'm like, what are you gonna do? Like, kill them and eat them? Because you said make them a meal, but
You interpreted that as cooking your partner? Oh my gosh.
that's horrible. I don't have a partner, so
This coming
there's
from
nothing to fear.
well, I can understand you. Yeah, I mean, like you eat squirrel and try to chase down bears, and so I can understand how you'd want to
Yeah.
cook your partner. Okay.
So make them a meal. So if they've had a long day, you don't even have to make it. Just go to McDonald's and buy them a meal. That would be more, I would love that. I'd be like, this person loves me. They just bought me food.
So buying food is equal to
Or making me food.
making food.
No. Yeah.
No way.
No, I guess
Somebody
not.
spending like an hour like preparing something is totally different than going through McDonald's drive-thru.
But I don't know if I would classify it as like different. I feel like it would show me the same type of love, whether they made it or bought it.
You think it's the same?
Well, hopefully they're buying something good.
Okay, so what? As long as they went to McDonald's and got you a Big Mac versus like a junior chicken, like what?
Oh, like Frank and Gino's versus McDonald's.
Oh, here we go. Okay,
Yeah.
so as long as it was something a little more expensive.
So I guess if they have deep pockets.
There you go. So as long as that's interesting. So if you make a meal for somebody, that's good.
I'd be super happy. I'd be like, thanks. I love that. Like,
Okay.
Yeah. But even if they bought me one too, I'd be the same.
Right.
Because I just love food.
Okay. So
But maybe that's my love language is food.
hearing that, folks, the way to Kelly's heart is through her stomach. So
Isn't that the way to everybody's?
it's usually the way to a man's heart. So
Oh.
yeah. So another way is to go visit your parents.
Aw.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's, I guess,
I love
for a lot of people, that's difficult. I think Nova Scotia, I don't think that's so much of an issue because
No.
so many people are so close to their family anyway.
Yeah.
So how often are you going to see their parents? Probably often.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
see like my mom at least once a week.
There you go.
Yeah. We actually went, I think it was 6 or 7 days without seeing each other there. Felt weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if you treat them to a coffee? Not your parents, anybody.
Yeah, I knew what you meant. Yeah, I guess that could be showing your love. I guess that could be more showing your, okay, I can't think of the word right now, but you're not showing love, appreciation.
When you go out for a coffee with somebody,
Yeah.
them getting you the coffee.
I don't know if I would think that was love though.
Really?
Do you think that's a way to show love?
That's a way to show love. Yeah, it's like it's like you're taking care of somebody. Like you're feeding them. Same thing.
Yeah.
Like buy them a coffee. So what if you? I mean, I do it all the time. Like where you just like go through the drive-through and then you just end up like saying like, hey, I'll pay for the guy behind me, sort of thing.
Pay it forward.
Yeah, pay it forward, right?
Yeah.
So that's a way of showing random love, right?
Yeah.
So the other person comes through, is just like, oh wow, like
I'm going to show it to the person behind me.
there you go. So I think that's a pretty good way. Yeah, because I think that a lot of people would appreciate that and they'd feel it's more sincere. Yeah.
My brain thing's twisted in here. I'm not confused. I'm just thinking about the whole pay it forward thing.
What do you mean?
Just like, you could like hit them with the love bomb or something. Like you could.
Love
The
bomb.
look on your face kills me. So like, so if you go through, I don't actually mean hit them. So if you go through like the drive-through and you're like, hey, I want to pay for this person behind me. When I pay for them, can you also give them this? And like have like a little card, a little love bomb that just says, you've been hit by a love bomb.
Okay.
That's okay. I spoke without thinking. Next.
Okay. Love bombs, folks. Next great idea.
Yeah, I'm actually crying.
Okay. Well, obviously the next thing is to just say I love you with meaning.
Yeah,
Right?
I think that's a good one.
Yeah. Well, because you say it all the time.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So, yeah. Tell them how wonderful they are and how happy you are to have them in your life.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. So that's another way to show love.
I say that to my kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
All
Like,
the time.
Quite often.
Yeah.
And just like I always tell them, I'm like, when I give them a hug, and I just said, I'm so happy you're my son, like, and let them know.
So from everything you're saying, it's clear that your love language is words.
Yeah, I
Right.
guess so.
So because you say it all the time, so you feel like you're expressing love. So actually, doesn't the book say something about how you express your love a certain way, but you could also only receive it a different way?
certain way, yeah.
Right. So like
yeah.
you may say it all the time, but then you actually need to have time spent, and that's
Yeah.
the way you actually feel love, right?
And I think probably everybody has like a little bit of each five. What is it called again? The love. What?
5 love languages.
Yeah. The what?
The 5 love languages. Yeah.
Yes, the 5 love languages. I think everybody probably has like a piece of each of
Yeah, that's
5
right.
things, but maybe you're just like more so in one area.
Yeah, it's like think of it like a balance,
Yeah.
right? So there's just like there's 5 of them, and some are big and some are small, and then there's one that's just like a little bit. Sometimes it's actually just like a little bit more
Yeah.
than the others,
Yeah.
right? So even if they're like primarily like with words, for example, it might be that like time is really close.
Yeah.
So you can get away with just doing the time thing and be able to like actually feel love.
And do the words while
Yeah.
you're doing the time, and then 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah, that's 2 birds with 1 stone. Sure. So we'll say 2 feeders for 1 feeder for 2 birds. That's a little more life-giving than killing birds, which we all know you like to do.
Oh my
so, okay. So another way is to ask, "How can I help you?" Right?
You do that a lot.
I do this a lot. Yes.
Yeah.
So this is a way that I express love, I guess, is and actions, I guess, is the other way, right?
And you're wanting them to verbally tell you what they want. That way,
So I have an opportunity to
you
show
do.
love.
Yeah, show love.
Yeah. Well, actually, even just saying it is a way of showing love.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah,
whatever,
for
whatever
sure.
it might be, right?
Yeah.
So make them a cup of tea.
Make them a cup of tea.
Yeah. And in our modern day, it's go through the Tim's drive-through and get a
Coffee.
get
Tea.
a tea. Yeah. Who makes tea anymore? Like, I mean, some people do, but these days, not so much. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't really drink tea. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen to them carefully without interrupting. For a lot of people, that's a hard one.
It is.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Like, what about saying, I understand? After saying, I understand. Is that one of them?
Yes.
Yeah.
So listen to them
Yeah.
and then tell them, I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're doubling up on the showing that you love because you're acknowledging that you're listening to them.
Yeah. Exactly.
But just don't say I understand, interrupting them though.
Yeah, right.
Then you
That's
nulled
the
it.
Key.
Yeah, you nullified.
Can you imagine
yeah.
they're pouring your heart out and you're like, I understand, and just completely cut them off. Okay, no more, enough from you.
Yeah.
I understand.
You just ended it there.
That
yeah.
would be a very
Yeah.
good way of showing love.
So another one that says that I don't necessarily agree with is to say I'm sorry. So is that a way of showing love?
I don't know. I don't see how.
Yeah, I think the idea is to. I think the idea behind that is to.
Maybe own up to your mistakes.
Yeah, show.
Respect.
Yeah, own up your mistakes. Show remorse. Show that you acknowledge that you've done something wrong, sort of thing, and that just owning it, like you said.
And I think going into like when you do say you're sorry, I think going into more detail but why you're sorry would probably help that maybe a little bit more. So like really get into specifics. Same when you're like congratulating someone or saying good job. Like when we talked about this before, I'd say good job and you're like, that's technically actually not a good thing to say. You want to go into more specifics. So when you're saying sorry, I think it'd probably be the same thing. Like go into more specifics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another way is to buy them a gift at a dollar store.
Buy them a gift at the dollar store. Is that really one?
Yes, that is
on that
one.
list?
It is on the list. That is horrible.
I think I would rather somebody make me something.
Yeah, but it's a lot easier to go to a dollar store and pick something up.
True, but like, I don't know, maybe if you find like that perfect gift at the dollar store that you're like, oh my gosh, they've been wanting one of these forever. Like if somebody got me a notebook that said like something cool on it, I would love that. Like I'd be like, oh my gosh, this notebook is like the coolest. It would have to be like girly looking and stuff too. But I would be super pumped that somebody was not grocery shopping. Somebody was at the dollar store probably for themselves. And when they see that thing that they want to get, that they're like, it reminds them of you, and then they give it to you, and it would just make me feel good.
You're saying so long as they're out wherever they are and they end up getting something for you while they're there, then that is a way to show that they love you.
Right. But if I'm like, I'm not going to set out and be like, I'm going to the dollar store to get a ping pong ball for Joe, and that's going to show my love. Like I don't think that would happen.
Okay.
But what do you think?
When was the last time someone got you a ping pong ball, Kelly?
I don't even know why I came up with that.
Okay.
All right.
Ping pong ball, dollar stores. Let's go. Okay. Helping with household chores. I think that's self-evident. That's obvious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does that show your love, or does that just show your... See, some of these I don't know if it's love. I guess maybe a little tiny bit of love in it. But I think that's more like showing...
So 5 love languages.
Yeah.
If they help with the household, which one is that? Through their actions.
Actions.
Right?
Okay.
So
I got to keep that in mind.
So for you, you'd be like, yeah, you should be helping with the household chores, right? And you're just like, and the guy's just like, but I'm showing I love you. And then you're just like, no, you just do it. And then he's just like, what the heck? You just took my love and threw it on the floor.
Aww.
And then you're just like, I don't care. So this is like, so that's a good example of like where the languages aren't speaking to each other, right?
Yeah.
So I think that so right there, I gave an example of like what you could do in actions to show you love, and you're just like, it doesn't exist. Right?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Okay.
So yeah, it is a good way.
I like this.
And I think for a lot of people, they would appreciate that.
I would definitely appreciate it.
Yeah.
Might give them some love later.
Yeah.
That's whatever.
Oh boy. Okay, so another.
Yeah.
Tell them you. So listen. Tell them you wish you understood. I don't quite understand that.
So I have to say, I wish I understood.
Yeah.
Maybe that needs to go into like more detail. Meaning like, maybe something happened to them, and you're like, what's that word when you're like consoling them?
Consoling them, yeah.
Yeah, and then you don't understand, so you're like, I wish I understood. So it's kind of like saying, I understand, except for you don't understand. So it's being honest.
So it's kind of like a way of showing empathy then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I wish I understood.
I'm sorry, I wish I understood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can understand. I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that seems like a good way to show your love in terms of what would be the 5 love languages there.
Verbally.
Is that verbal?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
What do you think?
I think it would be auditory, maybe?
Isn't that verbal?
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
So another way is to make sure you give them a headache and then bring them ibuprofen.
So if they have a headache, you bring them ibuprofen.
Yes.
That's a way of showing love.
Yes.
That would be an action.
I just kind of sabotage that by saying that
Give them a
I'm
headache.
going to give them a headache, so I can
That's
give them
what's gonna happen.
so I can create this opportunity to show how much I love them. Right? So,
Yeah, you could like create your own opportunities, sabotage the people.
there's lots of movies like that. Like think about some of the movies where There's like somebody who, like, how many times have you seen the actually they're not really love, they're like obsessed with somebody.
Yeah.
But they create this whole scenario where they're going to end up together.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, they'll like, the guy or the girl ends up like sabotaging the other person so that they end up in this certain place, or they lose something, so this guy comes in and swoops and helps them, and this sort of thing, right? You hear that kind of story all the time, right? But yeah, I think that it's giving them headaches a little kinder than some of the stuff I've seen in the movies. So
Yeah. I agree.
Invite them to play?
Invite them to play.
I think we all understand that one. Okay, next. Acknowledge and respect their feelings, even if you feel they are not accurate and appropriate.
What is it? Acknowledge and respect their feelings.
Even if you feel they're not accurate and
I don't agree
appropriate.
with that one, I don't think.
Well,
like, I guess you can still be there for them.
Yeah. So
Still love them.
So here's the thing about nonviolent communication talks about there's only two things that matter to people.
Yeah.
One is their feelings.
Yeah.
And having their needs met.
Okay.
Okay. So not being heard or not having our feelings acknowledged is one thing that just we constantly, like, what happens is when that doesn't happen, people automatically trip over to judging others or getting into this language of interpretation of these sort of things. But at the core, underneath all of that, is actually people wanting to have their feelings acknowledged and having their needs met, right? So it's really just those two things that people need.
Yeah.
So being able to acknowledge someone's feelings, no matter whatever we think, like what this is saying is basically like, stay away from judging them, right? And just be like, I hear you're upset, is one way of like saying it, like, I can see that this is something that's important to you, right? And when you say things like this, that's where people are just like, okay, I've been heard, right?
Yeah.
And so but then what happens is, like, when people are upset about something, instead of just saying like, I'm upset about this, they'll say, you're an idiot. And so then and then they'll start to like throw out these judgments and things like that, right?
Yeah.
So it's really a matter of being able to have a language where you are staying away from trying to minimize their feelings or minimize their needs, and trying to say like, yes, you have those feelings, you have these needs, and they need to be met, and I acknowledge that, and just to acknowledge it, just to say that I understand, like I said.
Yeah.
Is a way to show love.
Yeah. I guess I'll agree on that one.
Yeah. So there's a lot more on this. It's called nonviolent communication.
Yeah.
So NVC.
NVC.
Nonviolent communication.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Got that.
Got that.
So if people look that up, they'll probably find there's a lot of materials on that kind of stuff. It's really good.
It probably is. Probably opened your eyes to a lot of different things that you didn't even know was violent communication.
Big time, yeah. And it's like, and that's like the root of so many issues.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to like, even when we're talking about love, right? Like, people who are in relationships, if they are accustomed to violent communication, which is to like just be judging all the time, then they actually really don't do this. They don't actually communicate their feelings or communicate their needs. And actually, the author the author who came up with this concept, he actually talks about how there's like couples who've been together for like 20 plus years that he actually counsels, and they will he'll get together with them, and they'll just right away, they're not talking to each other, they're not actually hearing each other, and he would spend literally just 2 hours with them to break it down, like to get them out of this judgmental type of communication that they have going, because it's just like what they've been taught, like from
just very snippy.
Yeah.
Back and forth sort of thing.
So it's like he gives an example of like, if I'm trying to recall correctly, like there's an example of this couple who the wife was just like, well, he doesn't let me, he doesn't let me spend any money.
Right.
And then the husband was like, I'm just trying to protect our family.
Yeah.
so what's really going on, right? So at the end of it, after he broke it down,
Yeah.
he got them to finally start to break down like what their real needs and feelings were. And it turned out because one time when she was younger, when they were together, she ended up overspending and bounced a check.
Yeah.
And ever since then, he felt he had to protect the family's finances from her doing that. And so he kept doing that.
Yeah.
But they weren't communicating that.
Yeah.
So they did this for 20 years, right? So they just like, they kept going and going and going. And it's just because they were never taught how to be able to communicate with each other.
I think communication is probably key in
100%.
any relationship.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good one.
Yeah.
Actually, I'd say that's probably the best one of all.
What was it again? What did it say?
It was acknowledge and respect their feelings, even if you feel they are not accurate or appropriate.
Right. Yeah.
So at the end, it's basically saying don't judge.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely.
So next, hold hands.
How to show love. Hold hands.
Now, this is interesting because I actually think this is how my son shows love because he wants to hold my hand all the time.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh.
Still, he's older.
Yeah.
Like he's getting older now, but he's always like holding my hand everywhere.
Yeah.
And actually, to be honest, it's like I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
But he just like it's what he does.
Yeah.
So
That's cute.
yeah.
Interesting.
So out of the 5 love languages, what's that?
Touch.
Touch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
buy them a small chocolate, but not if they are on a diet.
I love how I had to add that in.
Yeah, really.
Because I guess if they're on a diet, then really you're just like rubbing it in their face
You're
and being
torturing them.
yeah, yeah. So like that's not showing love.
No,
Okay, okay.
that's mind games and manipulation.
What if you're not a fan of chocolate?
Then give them
Something
whatever it
they
is that they really like.
Penny
Yeah.
candy or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, chips.
Yeah. Yeah. For example, I know my wife isn't a fan of chocolate.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So ice cream, I love ice cream. She'd be like, eh.
Yeah, my
So-
niece is an ice cream fanatic. Like I've never seen somebody love ice cream as much as her.
Wow.
Ever.
I can beat her, I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Ice cream eating competition.
There we go. I'll go for that. Gently wash and dress their cuts or wounds. Really? Really?
Gently wash or rinse their cuts or wounds.
See, I can understand that for kids, but to me, I don't know if that's really showing love because it's kind of necessary. You know, like this is just basic, like hygiene. You know what I mean?
But
I mean, it's one thing. I'm like, okay, so let's take an example. So I guess when I hear that, I'm thinking about taking care of your kids and having to do that.
yeah, but what if it's like their back and they can't reach it?
Okay, yeah. In that case, yeah, you're showing love by gently taking care of their wound.
Yeah.
How did they get that wound in the first place? You weren't protecting them. What
I
are you
don't know,
doing?
but at the same time, so I'm thinking back actually to an instance that just happened not too long ago, and a friend of mine had a pretty bad wound, and they were talking about fixing it and like putting a Band-Aid on and everything, but I just took it upon myself to do that. So I got the polysporino and I put it on the bandage and I made like a special bandage for it, and like, you know what I mean? Like, but I never thought it's not like, I never thought of it as love before. It was just, so I could kind of see where you're coming, but at the same time, maybe that really meant a lot to them. Like, oh my gosh, this person just took it upon themselves to do this for me.
Yeah.
So
Do you think that in that circumstance that you just described that you were showing love?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So all you got to do is make sure that you get them injured, and then you can dress their wounds and show love. It's like giving them headaches
Yeah. Or eating them.
or eating them. Okay, here we go. Tell them about the best part of your day. Tell them about the best part of the day you just spent with them.
Okay.
So that's time.
Yes.
Right.
But it's also verbal because you're telling them about your favorite thing of that day. And I think that is a great way of showing love because in the end, like if somebody was telling me this and they're like, oh, Kelly, my favorite part is when we slid down the water slide holding hands together. And I'd be like, that was my favorite spot too. So then you're just bonding.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, this is something that my son asked me a lot too.
Yeah.
Like whenever we go on a trip or something like that, he was like, what was your best part when we did this? Right? He's asked me that all the time. Yeah, it's interesting. This came up on the list like that.
Yeah.
So
I know there's a couple things that are kind of eye-opening for me for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Love is everywhere.
Love is everywhere.
There you go.
Love is in the air.
There you go. So next, let them sleep. Right.
Yes, please. That'd be
Yeah.
the biggest way anybody could show love.
Yeah, I think that for parents, this is easily like something that they can
More like-
appreciate, right?
yeah.
Because there's so little sleep you get to have, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can totally appreciate that.
Let them
If there's
sleep
an
in.
opportunity to get them more sleep, let them have it.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure.
Offer them a drink of water.
Are you thirsty?
Like, yeah, I don't. Would you like some water?
Would you like some water?
Would you like some water? So I guess if you get in the practice of going around asking people if they want water, then you're showing love.
I guess.
Is that what this is?
I
this
don't
is?
know. Like, but I don't even think that's showing love. I think going out of your way and getting it for them without them even telling you that they want it is probably more so showing love in that case. Like you're like, so say for instance, somebody's out mowing the lawn and you could tell like the sweat's dripping down and that you know they haven't gone inside to have a drink in like an hour, so you bring them out a bottle of water.
Right.
I feel like that because you're caring about what their health and if they're doing okay and oh my gosh, you look so warm and you're so hot. Make sure you drink your water. That's showing love because you're caring about them.
Yeah, and you can do this for everybody too.
Yeah.
Like we actually, so like when we had contractors over to our house to do some renovations, we actually set up this little mini fridge.
Yeah.
And it's filled with pops and waters and actually even Starbucks and things like this.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, Gatorades. And we basically tell all the contractors saying
Help
like,
yourself.
hey, you know, we know it's hot. Like if you need to have a drink or something like that, there's this fridge and you can
that's
just
really
go help
nice.
yourself, right?
Yeah.
So that's something that my wife set up, and it's something that we always let everybody know. Everybody who comes to work for us, like they're just like, wow, like they've never experienced anything like that.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of like floored, and they take it, and you know it's good because like some days it's like it's really hard work, and it's just like all you're doing is just like give them a drink, like they're human beings.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, but think about it, so many other places they just don't do that.
So your wife doesn't know these people at all, but she's still showing a sign of love towards these people.
Right.
Yeah, I think, I agree with
Yeah.
that.
And anybody can do this.
Yeah.
Right.
Anytime.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, even the person I was talking with the bandage, like we're just friends.
Yep.
Like there was nothing, but that's why that's why I've never thought about showing it as love, because you're just friends. You're not
In love?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I guess.
So that's not what love is, though. Love
No.
is way bigger than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is really opening my mind to that big
Yeah.
time.
Cool. Let's hope we open some minds. Next, wear or use a gift that they gave you in their presence. Okay, there's a story behind that laugh.
Yeah. Well, I just feel like that's not necessarily showing love. I think that's showing, maybe you can change my mind, but I don't think that's showing love. I think that's showing kindness, respectfulness, sort of thing. So like my grandmother always used to make me these wool socks, and the tips of the toes were always like triangle,
Okay.
and I didn't like them.
Yeah, I can understand.
Yeah, I didn't like them at all. But I did wear them
Uh-huh.
and now as I'm older, I'm happy to get a pair of those socks because they're like an extra pair of slippers in the winter. You just throw a big pair of socks on. You don't care what you're doing. But as a teenager, I was like, oh my God, I'm not wearing those. But I would always wear them to her house so she could see me wearing them.
So that you could show love?
No, that was kind of me, I think.
So you
Or
could,
respectfulness. I don't know.
to be respectful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she put her time, she put her love into making these. The least I could do is wear them
Right.
to show her.
Right.
So I don't know if that's love, showing love. I don't see it there for that one. All right, what are the rest of the ones on there? What number are we at? How many have we gone through?
We've gone through 28.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's good. And there
So-
was 40 some?
And there's 47.
Okay.
So of the 28, the next one though, I don't understand it at all.
No.
Keep that sign to yourself. What does that mean? Keep that sign.
Signs everywhere.
Oh,
signs.
sorry. I misread it.
Okay.
So, sorry.
Okay.
Keep that sigh
Sigh.
to yourself.
I'm a pro sire.
Okay.
Yeah, it's funny because that's usually how people can tell that I'm upset, because I'll just and I don't even do it without even noticing. I'll just be like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
sometimes it even goes into the verbal sigh.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I think that's keeping it to yourself. I don't know.
Is that a way to show love?
I don't think.
I feel like that's repressing your feelings, to be honest. Yeah.
And that's just for me. I don't care if you heard me sigh. Like, if that takes my stresses out for 5 minutes, I'm going to sigh.
Okay. Let's not let that kind of bomb go off. Okay. So an alternative to the sigh, I think, is use a kind voice even if you have to fake it.
Yeah.
Is that love?
No.
No?
I don't know. These ones are getting...
So the truth is that love also includes sacrifice,
And
right?
care, like feelings.
Caring, kindness, consideration.
Consideration, yes.
Right? So, when you think about the fact that, you may show kindness, like you want to have a kind voice, even when, you really aren't feeling it,
Yeah.
it is a way of showing love, right? Because you're trying to build it like we're talking about.
Yeah.
Right? If you just went off on like whatever was like, if you're just like all over the place all the time and just don't have any kind of discipline, I guess, in terms of like how you handle yourself, you're never going to get anywhere. Like you're never going to build anything.
You kind of reminded me something when you said a kind voice. I remember my brother saying something to me when I had my license because I was driving, but I guess my voice changes when I order through a drive-through.
Oh.
So instead of being like, I don't even know if I could say it, but I'd be like, hi, can I get a Big Mac meal, please? And so it kind of just like goes a little bit more high pitcher.
Okay. This is from all your years of training, I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe. But he's like, he always, every time he'll probably still, if I went through McDonald's with him nowadays, he'd probably laugh at me and be like, why do you change your voice like that? And I'm like, it's just because it's my kind, nice voice. Like, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I can appreciate that, yeah.
I don't know. Instead of like, can I get a Big Mac meal?
Yeah. Actually, truthfully, when I go through the drive-thru, I don't go like that, but I do tend to be very polite to the other person on the other side, because like, you know what? I know that that's like, I can just imagine in the course of the day, the way people are like treating them, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to be like that one little light in the day.
I know,
that's just gonna be like, let's give them like some
You're so
appreciation and try to be like, at least let them have a bit of a smile.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so I'll just be like, I'll be very polite. I'll be like, oh, thank you so much, and it's like, things like that, and just little things. And even when I go through the drive-thru, if I can, the first thing I try to do is whoever is serving me, I try to read their name tag.
Yep.
Right, and it's hard sometimes these days, but if I see the name tag, I'll specifically say, thank you so much, Lauren, or whoever it is, right? Oh, thanks, Indy, and just say their name, because I'm sure in the course of the day they've been called all kinds of other things. So.
Yeah. If not to their face, behind their back for sure.
Exactly. So it's like
But smiles are free at McDonald's.
Yeah. So they took those off the menu actually. So,
Did they?
Well, yeah. I haven't seen it forever.
Yeah, me either. I remember when people would come through and be like, now where's my free smile?
Yeah, I used to do that.
That was cringe.
When I was younger, I always did that. It was on the menu, and I was like, and I'll take a free smile. It was just like, but I was really goofy back then, so that's understandable.
Yeah.
So okay, I don't understand. So put chocolate chips in their pancakes, like.
We're getting a little bit ridiculous here.
Yeah, this is just ridiculous. Okay.
Instead of blueberries, I would rather blueberries personally. You can put blueberries, and that would show more love towards me than chocolate chips.
I'm just good with pancakes. Like, just give me the pancakes.
Not really even a fan of pancakes.
Really?
Blueberry pancakes.
Okay then. Visit a sick friend. That's reasonable.
Yep.
Definitely showing love there.
Yep, for sure.
Run them a bath.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'd hate that. I'm not a fan of baths. Give a
Different love
mom.
language.
There you go. Give a new mom her own gift. What does that mean?
So my friend actually did that.
What does that? What does that look like?
So when I first had kids, my oldest, people would come in and they would give gifts and they would give it to the kid. And so here's a onesie, here's a sleeper, here's a blanket. But then you're just laying here and you're the one that just pushed the baby out of your hoo-ha.
Okay.
And, or however your pregnancy thing went. But yeah, so my friend she brought me a fruit tray, which I loved. And she got me a mug that said, it had the word mom on it with a little phrase. And it was just really sweet. And I'm like, wow, that's huge for showing love. I think so.
There you go.
Yeah, definitely worked for me.
Cool. So some of the other things are respect someone's wishes. That's, to me, self-evident.
Yep.
Yeah. Write messages of love and put them in their lunches.
Like on a sticky note. Yeah, I've done that before.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever done it. Oh, my mom's probably done it to me.
Choose a book they might like and lend it to them.
Yeah. You would like that one.
If somebody lent me a book,
Yeah.
yeah, I probably would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, some people have done that to me in the past, now that I think about it.
I'm not a big reader, so
Yeah.
audiobooks.
So another one is take a garbage out for a friend. You'd have to really love them to do that.
Yeah. I don't even like taking my own garbage out.
Yeah. Hold them while they cry. This to me is
Obviously.
just obvious.
Yeah.
Give them a chocolate Band-Aid. Wait, no.
What? Wait, what?
Literally says give them a chocolate Band-Aid. What is that?
Are you sure? Read it again.
Give them a chocolate Band-Aid.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm lost on that one.
An edible Band-Aid. Don't stick your tongue on the cut though while you're eating it off.
So apparently what made the list was invite them over for scones and clotted cream.
To show your love, folks, invite people over for stones and clotted cream.
Scones.
Scones.
Yeah, there's those really dry pastries.
Biscuits.
I don't even like them. Yeah.
Brandon loves blueberry scones from the market.
Okay, he can have them all. Send a copy of a photo to a person. Send a copy of a photo to the person in it. So
Okay.
we did that a lot with events here where
Yeah.
we took pictures for groups and sent them over and
Yeah.
they loved it.
Yeah.
So we were showing love to everybody there.
My aunt does that. She's always the picture taker, and she'll always usually print off a few and give them to you as well. So I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make someone else's bed.
Ew.
I think I can see how that's showing love, around the family and things like that, but I feel like you're almost kind of taking away the opportunity for them to make their own bed.
Yeah.
You know?
Make your own bed.
Yeah, I think
Show
so.
yourself love.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Share your knowledge with someone who needs it.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess so.
So apparently everybody grows herbs in their garden and you should share them. That is the next one.
What?
Share herbs in your garden.
Share your herbs from your garden.
Yeah.
Okay.
That happens in Nova Scotia a lot, I think.
Yeah.
So, and share a good recipe.
That's a good one. I
Yeah.
would love to get a good recipe.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
So I can't cook, so I have no idea how that happens. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
How many was there in total?
That was 47 that we went through.
47.
And actually, there's more. How to be kind to strangers. But that first part was how to be extra kind with loved ones.
With loved ones, yeah.
And then it goes into 40 more about strangers.
Okay. Maybe that'll be another episode.
Maybe we'll do another episode, yes.
Well, that was super fun. I definitely opened up my eyes to ways of showing love.
Yeah, it's a whole new world out there, full of
Yeah.
love.
Full of love. Remember your heart?
Heart?
Drawing a heart with
There
your
you go.
hands. All right. So stay tuned because next week is generosity.
Generosity. Be generous with your love.
Love you guys. Bye.
See you in the next one.
Love ya.